Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Never Seen It. This is a podcast where we watch movies that we haven't seen yet. I'm your host today, Betsy, and with me, as always, is Trent.
Hey, Betsy.
We are continuing on in our decades journey. We're so near the end, but we're not quite there yet. We are going back 10 years to 2013, another time where you and I were already together and going to a lot of movies.
Seeing a lot of movies. You know, it's been 10 years, and pretty much if there's a movie that we've both really wanted to see, we've seen it by now. But this one, I haven't seen. You have, though.
So, yeah, we found one that you had not watched from 2013. We are watching About Time.
Well, it's about time, Betsy.
It is about time.
I had to make that joke.
No one has ever made that joke before, Trent.
Never.
So that being said, Trent, what do you know about Time?
It's a romantic comedy?
It is a romantic comedy.
Whoa.
What else?
We don't do a lot of those on this show.
We don't, but I'm gonna clue you in. It's not as easy as that.
Yeah, I get that.
It's more complicated than that.
And there have been other romantic comedies that don't really fit the mold. Like, we did 40 Days and 40 Nights for our last Smut series. And, like, that was a faux romantic comedy, but it's, yeah. And, like, there's a gimmick about this movie. It's about a time-traveling dude, or, like, the guys in a guy's family have the ability to, like, go back in time and, like, fix mistakes or something like that.
Okay.
That's what I know about it. I don't know the guy's name, but I know his face. He's the guy from Ex Machina.
Yes, it is Domhnall Gleeson, or Donnell.
I don't know.
It's very Irish.
Okay.
Son of Brendan Gleeson.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you look at them together, you can tell they're related.
I'll have to look at them a little closer. You sent me a clip not long ago of some like BAFTA or some like British awards where Brendan Gleeson, I think, won an award for something and his son was sent up there to accept it.
Yeah, they were both nominated in the same category.
Oh.
And his dad couldn't be there, but he won. So he said, well, if I win, you go up and accept it. So for just a minute, everybody's like, wait, is he confused? But then he's like, no, I know exactly what I'm doing.
All right. Well, and the other person, of course, is Rachel McAdams, which we haven't really done hardly any Rachel McAdams movies, even though she's made a lot of them.
She really has, especially in the years leading up to this, she was cranking them out.
Totally. This was kind of her decade.
The early aughts into the, like, 2010s, definitely.
Yeah, I think she got her start. I mean, she's around our same age, I think. Maybe a little older.
A little bit older, yeah.
Yeah, but still, she got her start in the early 2000s, and she's kind of fallen off a little bit. She had a resurgence with the Doctor Strange movies. There was a couple of those, and I don't really know what else she's been doing.
She's been working, but she also has reached the luxury of she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
So the projects are when and how she wants them to be.
Yeah, but, like, other than that, about this movie, I don't really know anything. I know it's time-traveling dudes, it's a romantic comedy, those two people, and that's it.
Well, there you have it, folks. Since he doesn't know anymore, we're just gonna end this intro and we're gonna go watch About Time from 2013. And we'll be right back. And we're back. For the first time, the second time, I don't know.
We've been here the whole time.
Maybe you've been here before. I don't know if you have a secret power that you haven't told me about.
You don't.
And I never will. Trent, what did you think of About Time?
That was wonderful.
It's such a sweet, delightful movie. And when I said, yes, it is a rom-com, but it's more complicated than that.
Yeah.
That's because this movie is more about life.
It is.
This is the journey of a guy who has this secret ability, but the more he learns to experience living in the moment, the less he finds he actually needs this power.
Yeah. And I get the messages that they present throughout. They are very poignant. I fucking cried at the end with him and his dad because I'm a sucker for a dad story. And it's barely a romantic comedy. There are comedic moments in it, and the whole meet cute thing happens over and over again, which is wonderful.
Yes, they use the trope of being able to relive the same moment really well. Like the acting and the multiple takes.
Yeah.
It's really effective how they edit it together.
Yeah. And we've talked about this before in other movies where the idea that if you had the ability to go back in time and change things, would you do it? And how would you do it if you chose to do it? And that's something that we could talk for fucking days about all the different things that we might do or might not do, and like what we would do that with that extra time or with that other opportunity, let's say. But with this kind of a movie, I appreciate that they didn't go that far, they didn't explore it that much, but you also had the narrator there with him in the future to really understand that it all works out in the end. His decisions that he made did not... there wasn't a weird, like, Back to the Future thing where, oh, great Scott, I just fucked up the future and...
Everything is all screwy now.
Everything is all screwy and I can't go back and fix it because of some weird rule that I wasn't aware of.
Oh, yeah, they set very limited parameters. It's only the men in our family. We don't know why. It's real. They don't explain why. Nobody knows why. It's just a thing they can do.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't tell them until they're 21. And it's a funny thing that nobody has accidentally discovered this.
Right.
It's very simple. You go in a dark place, a quiet place, you clench your fists, you think of a moment, and you go back.
Yeah.
And that's it. And you can go back to that point and you can come back. And the only rules are revealed as we go through the story. So basically, if you want things to remain exactly the same, you can't go beyond your children being born. Because if you go back before that point, you don't know the odds. The odds change.
Right.
That time that you had sex and that sperm with that egg changes the child that you're going to have. So if you want that child, then best not go beyond the barrier.
Yeah. Right. You love that child and you don't want to have to be, introduced to yet another child.
You don't know your child every time you travel back in time. Right. You return and you don't know who this human is.
Hi. Oh, you're different.
Right. And then, of course, the climax of the movie is his dad passes away of cancer, and they're going to have a third child, but they don't have the child until after his dad's already gone.
Yeah, it's every subsequent child, it resets. You cannot go past that point.
So his choices are live in the moment, live in the present, look to the future, or have more time with his dad. And it's a devastating turn of events when you realize what this movie is gonna do to you. And it stops being a romantic comedy entirely, and it becomes this story about this guy and his dad, and you're blubbering like a little baby in the dark on the couch.
Yeah, I was almost there anyway, but yeah, and again, it kind of converts into that kind of a story about life, like you said, and it's a reflection of, the choices that you make. This is the result that I want, not necessarily every single beat. Like, he doesn't go back and correct, the wedding that is completely rained out. Even though he does ask the question, so if you could do that again, would you want to not have the rain? And she said, oh, no, we need to have that. That is memorable as shit.
That's the thing, is there's moments that he does go back and fix. Like the first time he and Mary have sex, he trips over her shoes. And he can't figure out her bra. And it's really awkward but endearing.
Right.
And he does it 3 times because he wants to do it better than the time before.
Yeah, he really wants to make an impression.
He's also enjoying himself, frankly. He's just abusing the system.
There's only so many times you can have sex with your future wife for the first time. In this case, 3 times.
So that's a time where he uses it just because he's in the moment and he's like, I want to do that again. I want to
Yeah.
ride the ride again, as it were. But there are other
Give me
times.
another shot.
Right. There are other times where he just is a horribly awkward human being.
Yeah.
Like when he has his sister's friend staying with them for the summer.
Yeah.
And is like,
Margot Robbie.
can you get my back with the sunscreen? And he just like, yes, absolutely. And is like splurting it everywhere. And he's tripping and he's very eager. And he has to go back and play it cool.
Yeah.
Those are the moments that I really appreciate.
And the fact that he realizes, oh, that was never going to happen at that time.
Yes.
He has to go through the entire summer. Probably, I don't know how many times that that's the other question here. How many times does he actually do all this stuff? Really?
I don't think he uses it as much as you might imagine.
Early on, I would say he probably does
yes.
it more.
Early on, he probably does it more because like they show him at the play a few times
Yeah.
when he's trying to figure out who his best man's gonna be.
When he's gonna propose.
How he's gonna propose.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few moments, like when he runs into Margot Robbie and he keeps
Right.
making an ass of himself. He usually uses it to correct him being an ass.
Right. And going back to the summer, I would say I think he finally realizes, okay, this isn't going to happen. I can't force things. So that's also telling the audience that, okay, I can't force somebody to want to fuck me. I can't force somebody to fall in love with me. I can't do it if it's not there.
Yeah, you can try it different ways, but you might get the same outcome no matter what you do.
But with Mary, he knows that there's a connection there. He knows that they had something sitting there in the dark.
But he even manages to fuck that up just about. Like,
When that's okay.
So of course, he meets this girl at one of those weird restaurants where the dining experience is in the dark.
A blind date, if you will.
Shut up. So he is randomly placed at this restaurant table with two women he cannot see, and he sits there for 3 hours enjoying this experience.
Yeah.
And they have this lovely conversation. They connect. They probably would start dating at that time, but he fucks it up because he doesn't understand the boundaries yet.
Yeah, and dude, like at that point, I know the rules about time travel.
Right. And of course, you see him go back, and your brain is like, oh, he's going to go help his friend. Because in most movies where there's a moment like that, where you're trying to be two places at once,
Yeah.
you actually are doing both things. It's the same timeline. You are still over there experiencing this, but you're also over there experiencing that.
But at that point, he thought, okay, I put it into my phone. My phone is clearly traveling with me, so the phone number is going to be in there. Also not realizing that she didn't have the experience with you. You had it in your brain, but it doesn't go both ways.
But again, he probably still thinks that the experience that we had together still stands. He hasn't used it that much. So now he travels back because his cynical, angry, manic playwright roommate,
What a weird choice that was for him.
Tom Hollander, is there, and he says that his play premiered and the actor froze. So him being the guy he is tries to help him.
Yeah, he wants to save everybody.
And he figures out a way to do it. Takes him a few tries.
That's the other thing. Like, that was the first question I had here, is how many times did he have to coach this actor until he finally has to put up fucking cue cards behind stage?
I love the fake out where he goes and he talks to the actor and he's like, maybe just review that script, only to realize it was the other actor.
Other actor, and he gets to experience the horror of what that was.
The brain freeze to end all brain freezes. He can't think of any word of dialogue that he's supposed to
And
say.
that was Richard E. Grant, is that his
Richard
name?
E. Grant in an
Yeah.
appearance in this. And
Yeah.
he ultimately has to give him cue cards, cardboard, handwritten notes on the side of the stage going, psst, hey,
Look here. These are the lines. And I mean, I could even bring back something from my youth. I've told you this.
Okay.
There's a extremely embarrassing story that I relive in my mind to this day. So this will be a little therapy session for all y'all. Back in 5th grade, my school, the 5th grade class did a play. And it's one of these like very kid-friendly plays where you have different skits go on and everybody has a part. And my part was in some kind of scene where it's baseball related. And I played an umpire, and I was out there by myself to do a thing, but the joke is I wear glasses in real life, and as an umpire, the joke about umpires is that they're blind. And Betsy, my whole thing in this scene was I was to go out front in front of the entire school and parents and everybody and say, "Where's my glasses? I can't find my glasses. I'm the blind umpire, blah, blah, blah." Betsy, I had my glasses on. And that wouldn't be so bad, but a woman in the front row yelled at me that says, "You got 'em on!"
You had a heckler.
I had a heckler, but she thought it was part of the show. She thought she was supposed to say something. I wasn't supposed to have them on.
You've been traumatized your entire life. And if you could go in a closet right now and clench your fist and think of a moment.
Betsy, I'm clenching right now.
You would fix this moment of your life.
Yes.
That's the thing. That's what this movie is we metaphorically relive those moments over and over and over. It's just, what would you do if you could actually do it better? Like the first time he uses it, his dad says, "Make it good. Make it something interesting."
Right.
And he goes back to the party the night before, and at New Year, at midnight, he shook a girl's hand and said, "Happy New Year!"
Right.
This time he kisses her.
Yeah.
He does the thing he wishes he had done the first time.
And she wished that he did the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Wow, this is real. I can really do this." And so I get it. That's the impulse is I want to fix things I did badly the first time.
And it's not even him. He's helping other people too. And that's, I think, where this movie kind of shines. Because it isn't just a selfish thing. It isn't just him going back to like win the lottery or get the job or just get the girl or anything. It is him going back and seeing, okay, let's see what happens if I do this. Let's see what happens if I do that. That's the kind of shit that I would do if I was put in that position, because I can see the result of my life. I want to see the result if I change other people's lives.
Well, he does this very dramatically, 2/3 of the way through the movie with his sister. His sister, Kit Kat, who is described at the beginning of the movie. He says she's perpetually barefoot. She wears purple all the time. She's this wild little flower child.
Yeah.
And he just loves her more than anybody on the planet.
If I had a sister like that, so would I.
Yeah, she's just this precocious little girl who has grown up alongside him.
Yeah.
And she's not that mature, but he loves her for it. It's what makes her her.
Yeah.
But she gets in with the wrong guy who's not very nice to her, and she starts drinking too much because she's sad. Like she's had kind of a shit life, and she doesn't stick with jobs, and she quits or she gets fired, and she just keeps kind of struggling and going in circles and getting stuck in the mud, as it were, of her this metaphor called life.
Right.
And when she gets in a car accident on their daughter's first birthday, because she was drinking and driving, she doesn't die, but she is really fucked up in this accident. And he tries first to get her out of the accident. And he does.
Right.
But she has to kind of pull herself by her bootstraps. But first he takes her back to like his parents' house and tries to do it the easy way, quote unquote, where he tells her his secret and he says, "You're coming with me and we're going to change some things about your life," and literally travels her through time.
Years. Like back to the New Year's party where she meets the douchebag the first time, and she realizes at that point, oh, he didn't actually like me. He just wanted to get laid that night.
He's a piece of shit, and this is what I should have done, and she kicks his ass.
Right, and he takes her through a bunch of different points in her life to try to relive and make some different decisions.
Well, that's the trigger. He only takes her to the one place, but that moment triggers all the other moments.
Oh, okay.
Because she doesn't meet that asshole. Basically, he keeps her from meeting that guy.
Right.
And when she can actually look at him from a distance, she realizes what an asshole he is.
Sure.
You know, the blinders are off. And then when they come back, it's like the merging of minds because she immediately goes, Jay, that guy. Because she's been dating his
Right.
friend. All of a sudden, she's flooded with this instinct of, oh my God, that's who I should be dating because he's just delightful.
Okay.
And so when they go out and they're back in the present, she's with that guy.
Okay,
So
okay,
it is
now I
that
get that.
butterfly effect thing where they did change everything. And so there is an element that is very different here.
But we don't see everything. The only
No.
real difference is that he isn't in the life, but we also don't know what her life would have been otherwise.
What we
So
know,
that,
what we know is her life is better. But this is also when we find out that because he went farther back, his child is different. So he has to reset it, and she gets in that car accident.
Yeah.
And it is up to her to figure it out. Like, the two of them are very supportive. He and his wife sit there in the hospital and refuse to leave.
For days.
4 days until she wakes up one day and says, I really got to clean up my shit, huh?
Yeah.
And they're just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I need to
That's why we're
I need to
here.
stick with a job. Yeah. And she has this epiphany and they're like so proud of her.
Yeah.
But he tried to do it and help her the way he knew how.
Right.
But she's got to do it for herself.
Right. And I think to his credit, he didn't really want to have to go and do this, but it was the easy way to do it. But I think he also realized at that point that, you know, people have to make their own mistakes. They have to make their own decisions and everything else. And you are better as a person for having gone through all those mistakes and life changes and whatever else. And, you know, I'm rambling here, but and I think that her story, this middle section here where his life is great and he wants to continue to help his sister and his family and everything else by using this gift, by sharing this gift. But I guess the message here is it is his gift for himself, and you can only do so much. You can only observe the changes yourself. You can't really do much else with it.
Well, that's life. Like, if you eliminated that element, if you took out the fact that there's time travel in this movie would still really work because it is just the things that people go through. It's him being awkward and not being able to get the girl he's got a crush on.
Right.
It's him fucking up meeting this woman of his dreams. It's, you know, getting married in a rainstorm. It's his...
But
you know,
then there, it is just a generic romantic comedy,
Yeah.
meet cute kind of bullshit.
but you add this element
Yeah.
of, okay, but what if I could fix it?
Yeah, it creates a more, it becomes a think piece, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you really have to look at this as an exploration of life and decisions and consequences, really.
Well, and if he was a worse person, he would make
Yeah.
worse decisions.
Okay, let's talk about the worst decision that he could have made. When he goes to the theater with his buddy Rory, he sees the play, but then Margot Robbie is there, and she is all over him. There is no... he tries to go over to her and say hello, and I don't really know what's going on in his brain, why he's choosing to relive this, until maybe he thinks to himself, oh, actually... I remember this. I remember learning that this was never going to happen with this girl, so I'm not even going to try anymore.
Yeah, I tried it on the last day. She said, I wish you had told me sooner.
Right.
So he goes back in time and he's like, sooner. Okay, I can do that. And he tells her sooner. And then she says, why don't you tell me on the last day? It's this fucking cycle.
Yeah.
So when he sees her in the theater, he goes over and says hello and he makes an ass of himself.
Yep.
So he goes, okay, restart. Let's do it again. He comes back. He makes an ass of himself.
Yeah.
And the third time he's like, you know what? I'm just not even going to say anything.
Nope.
I'm going to pretend she isn't there.
But then, by fate...
But she runs into him
Yeah.
and engages him in conversation and then basically kind of almost throws herself at him.
She is.
So she's like, I told my friend to leave. Goodbye, Rory.
Right. Bye. No, Roger.
Roger. Roger Rory, whatever your name is.
And they go out to dinner. They're having some drinks and they're having a great time.
And she is all
Yeah.
like flirty and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
oh, maybe I shouldn't have said no to you all those years ago.
Right.
And this is my apartment.
My apartment looks so much better on the inside. Oh, what is going on, dude? Tim, what the fuck?
But it's the ultimate test.
Yeah.
And did you think you knew what he was going to do when he turned her down? where
Yes.
he was gonna go.
As soon as he turned her down, yes. But
There was a moment.
there was a moment I didn't know what kind of movie this was going to be, because in movies like this, there often is there is a turning point where the main character does something stupid.
In a rom-com,
Yeah.
there is always a tragic misunderstanding 15 minutes before the end of the movie so that they can have a glorious reunification at the end.
Right. But that's not this movie.
That's not this movie.
So I was kind of expecting something to happen where he would have to admit to his wife, his girlfriend, whatever it was, that he has this power. And this would have been the moment where he would be so guilt-stricken by this terrible act.
He could have gone for
He
it,
could have gone for
and
it.
it would have never technically happened.
And he would have gotten away with it.
He would.
But not in his mind.
No, he would be living with the consequences of that choice. No one
Yes.
else would even know it ever happened.
Yes.
It's a dangerous power, but because he's a goofus. He's just
love
a
this
dork.
character. I love this character because it's only this type of a guy that would do this, and I know that they're testing the audience by thinking, by having them think, oh, he's like every other guy. No, he uses the power to go back and meet the girl that he just met, that he has a crush on, or, barely even saw the first time that they met. And yeah, it goes against the type of movie that it is. You don't expect for this guy, or for a guy to go for this type of girl. But hey, these two are not like George Clooney and fucking Julia Roberts. It's not that kind of a movie.
No.
They're not that kind of actors. They are not like the A-list, like, tens that you expect in a movie like this.
No, you've got Margot Robbie 10 years ago, so she was 23,
Right.
give or take, when she made this. So she's very young and very beautiful. And you've got Rachel McAdams, who is a beautiful human being.
Sure.
But they intentionally make her like really brown and mousy, and
I wouldn't call her frumpy, but
she's not frumpy.
No.
But she is dressed down.
Sure.
Like you look at her in Mean Girls where she is, dressed up.
Sure.
That's the like crazy hot girl version of Rachel McAdams. This is the what can we do to make her as plain as possible?
Right. She reads for a living. Come on.
Yeah, she is a mousy girl who probably doesn't date that much. And like she says like, "Oh, do I look like someone who can't get a boyfriend?"
Right.
But also when they first meet, it kind of vibes like she's like, "Oh, I have a weird hairdo and I don't look too
Right.
weird. Like this is new fringe. I don't know
Okay.
if I like it. They're too short."
Okay, talking about that whole part of the movie, she has a boyfriend, quote unquote. Why did they go to this blind date thing? Is it because her friend wants her to break up with this douchebag?
So this is where you have to remember the timeline. It gets all screwy because basically, let's say the play / the night they met
Yep.
is day one. And then there is an amount of time that passes before he remembers there is a Kate Moss exhibit.
Yep.
She talked about Kate Moss. Eventually she's going to be there. And they show him for a number of different days sitting around there waiting. So
Days, okay.
Yeah, they show him in different outfits in that same spot. I think he goes there every single day
Oh.
that he can to see if he runs into her.
I didn't get that, but okay,
Yes.
now that makes more sense.
There are some time lapses where we're in the same location, but
Okay.
he's in a different outfit, and that's the passage of real time.
All right, so sometime in that time
Yes.
is where she met
So
the
between
douchebag.
between day 1 and day, let's call it 25,
Sure.
that he finally runs into her, somewhere around day 10 is where she was at this party.
All right.
So that's how he can still go back, but not go back too far.
Sure.
So he still never met her the first night.
Mm-hmm.
The play still happens. But she doesn't meet this other doofus.
Okay, all right. So how do you feel about, and we're getting into this, these are the questions that you ask if we're doing a fucking rom-com podcast, but that's not this kind of podcast. But Betsy, let me dish on you.
Okay.
Do you think that it's okay for him to have done this after he fucked it up the first time? Meaning, do you think it's okay for him to stalk her at the Kate Moss thing and at the party and cheat, basically. Maybe cheat's not the right
games the
word.
system.
He games the system. Do you think that's all right and cool and whatever word you want to use?
Trent, I think if, again, he didn't have this ability and we look at real life, people go to some extremes in order to meet people. And sometimes it's really creepy and weird. But I think you can forgive it in this situation because, one, he is just awkward as fuck.
He has no ill intentions.
He has no game whatsoever. And we have already established in the first scene that they did actually have their meet cute.
They did.
They had the sparks flying. This probably would have happened.
He's not just going after some buddy on the street that he happened to see. As I said, he doesn't have any ill intentions here. He's not going to just do it to anybody. This is somebody that he had a genuine connection with. And because, maybe because he doesn't have a whole lot of history with girls, that he just goes after the first one that likes him.
They have a genuine connection, and that's what is interesting to him. Because you said it, if he had the opportunity, which he did, to do something with Margot Robbie, even after he has landed this girl of his dreams, he could get with Charlotte. He does not, because he's a decent person. Yes. I think it all hinges on the character. Yeah. And we have watched some movies where men, despite how well-intentioned they are, there are so many movies like this where the guy seems so great and they always fuck it up. They have this fatal flaw where they cannot resist the temptation and they make a mistake.
Betsy, we've both seen Promising Young Woman.
Yes, and a number of other movies on top of it.
If you like a concept like that where maybe the woman gets back at the man, go watch Promising Young Woman. It's incredible.
Well, I just mean in general, like even more innocent, like, oh, I was drunk and she made a move and you saw her kiss me, but you didn't see me push her away. There's always that fucking misunderstanding. But they got themselves in that situation to begin with. This movie is about a guy who doesn't know about love outside of his family. And when they introduce him, the beginning of the movie just sets up that he had this lovely life. His parents are eccentric in their own unique ways. They have tea on the beach no matter the weather. They have a Friday night movie no matter the weather. It's this warm, wonderful life that he had with just his little collection of people.
But the thing he wants is a girlfriend.
The thing he wants.
Everything he has everything under the sun. He could probably get as much money from his parents as he wanted, but that doesn't get him what he really wants.
It's not what will make him happy. And so when he meets the girl and he knows this is the girl, he figures out a way to meet her again when he fucks up. And he doesn't know. In his defense, he didn't know that was going to happen.
No, of course not.
But he figures out pretty quickly.
He just needed to make sure.
Yeah. He figures out that there are do-overs to a degree.
Right.
But in certain circumstances, there are no do-overs. And the more he uses this, the more he realizes he should live his life the first time the right way.
And it takes some years. It takes some time for him to really realize. I really liked the rules his dad gave him. Live your life as if you would normally do it. But relive every day again so that you can take more of it in. Because as you're going throughout your life, throughout your day, you're going to have stresses. You're going to have moments where you maybe didn't do the right thing, or you maybe could have been a better person. You could have been more kind. You could have given somebody a bigger tip.
Or you were distracted and grumpy and you missed something.
You didn't notice some kind of beauty. It allows you to go and appreciate things all the better after you live it a second time.
And just imagine that. His dad told him this is the secret of his life. And he says at the beginning, he says, Dad always seemed to have time on his hands. Dad was always reading a book. And he told him what he has done with all his time is read. He just locks himself in a room every single day and he reads and he reads and he reads. That is his version of a great life.
That was his advice. Find something that you are passionate about and devote your time to that. And he does it with his love life.
Yeah. He meets this girl. They get to move in together. Like, the awkward as shit things, like when he meets her parents for the first time.
Right.
He barely does that over again. Like, the first time, she basically plants all the wrong ideas in his brain and he just opens his mouth and says...
I knew that was going to have to be
Yeah,
redone.
there's no cunnilingus happening in this house. Cut to, he's redoing this meet cute with his future in-law.
Yes.
But yet he just lives this life with his girlfriend, and then they have kids, and they have a messy life that keeps expanding, and there's more people, and they need a bigger house. And he just starts living his life.
Right.
And he even says it before he quits it. Like, he just kind of stopped doing it.
Right.
And when he was doing the time travel thing, it was to try to help his sister, or it was try to spend more time with his dad. So when you say it's about time, the theme of this movie, again, it's not about the time he has just for himself. It's not the time he has with his wife. It is just the time he has with the people he loves. And it's fucking devastating when you realize that, yes, you can have this time, but eventually it's going to run out. And the lesson he takes away at the end of the movie is, I'm just going to live my life. I'm going to live my life and appreciate the here and now and act like there isn't a do-over. Because as far as I'm concerned, there isn't.
Yeah.
And again, it's that thing I keep saying. You could have this really unremarkable movie about life, and maybe it would work and maybe it wouldn't, but it becomes so much more impactful when he stops getting his do-overs.
Yeah, and I think that portion of the movie brings the audience into it more, because then you can start to think to yourself, oh, would I have gone back for this? Would I have gone back for that? Oh, that's not how I would have done it, or I would have done it this way. That's what was going through my head. Like at the beginning when he goes back to redo the play thing to help out with the actor, I knew he wasn't going to have the date with his future wife. I knew that was going to happen, but I would have maybe done it in a different way, where I would have maybe gone back a little bit further and helped out the actor, not like the night of the show.
Going to rehearse with
so
him.
many different ways that you could have done that.
We're going to run your lines, dude, day after day, week after week.
I'm going to be your tutor. I'm going to learn this shit myself.
But that's the thing. He was, theoretically, this man knew his lines. He just froze.
He just froze
and
on the night.
And there's no predicting that.
Yeah, on the night.
Maybe he did. Maybe he did do all that. And the only thing he could do to get him to say the lines was to hold up a fucking handwritten cardboard cue
Maybe
card.
he was always going to freeze.
Maybe. And there's nothing he can do about that except what he did. And it's at the expense of meeting the love of his life.
Yeah.
And that's fucked. But that's the kind of person he is. And sometimes that's what life is. You might have the best intentions and you will miss out on the greatest thing that ever happened to you because you were living your life over here or helping somebody over there. You know, the things that could have been, Trent. We've talked about this before. You and I could have crossed paths.
Yeah.
But we didn't. You know, we lived not that far apart from each other. We found out like 3 locations where we were in the same place at the same time before we ever met.
Yep.
We had friends in common.
Yeah.
And it took the right place, the right time, and the right circumstances for us to meet.
And now we have this podcast.
And now we have this podcast. All the dominoes that had to fall for us to be having this conversation in this way at this moment.
That's life, folks.
That's life. All right. Well, I would be remiss if I didn't specifically mention a couple of people, like call them out. We've mentioned they're in this movie. So Margot Robbie, she shows up. This is when she's still kind of a nobody and she's on the rise. I did not remember she was in this movie until someone was talking about it and mentioned that she was in it.
Okay.
She may come up again later sometime. We don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. The future, it's coming.
The future, Betsy.
And then, of course, you've also got Bill Nighy as the father, who he's just one of those underrated actors. There is this nice through line because this was 2013 and a lot of these people, they were known to varying degrees or not known at all.
Sure.
And ever since this movie came out, 5 people from this movie have since been nominated for an Oscar for acting.
Yeah.
And that's incredible because Vanessa Kirby shows up in this movie as like the wacky best friend. She's barely in it. Again, kind of forgot that was her. And then she showed up. I was like, oh, it's Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah.
And one person that I haven't mentioned yet, who's not in the movie but wrote the movie. This movie was written by Richard Curtis. Part of the reason this movie is the way it is and why this guy is written the way he is Richard Curtis is the pinnacle of British rom-com writers.
Okay.
He wrote Love Actually and Notting Hill and 4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Okay.
Same guy wrote this movie. So this man is very well known. And so you can understand why a lot of people going into this would think, I know exactly what kind of movie this is because
Sure.
I've seen those other movies.
And that's kind of how it's presented.
They marketed this movie like it was going to be one of those.
Just look at the poster of the movie. It is 2 people in the rain having a great time.
Laughing.
It's a man and a woman. They're in love and blah, blah, blah. Puke. You know, that kind of a reaction that I would normally have for a movie like this. I don't get down with the traditional romantic comedy. It's fucking boring.
It can be very stupid. It is the opiate of the masses 9 times out of 10. I love a good rom-com, but I also completely acknowledge when they are garbage.
Yeah.
And I don't care. Like, I have rarely turned off a rom-com. I almost did it last year when I was watching, 400 movies. I was watching a lot of stuff. And I watched Something Borrowed, which is a Kate Hudson movie.
Uh-huh.
She is so delightful in rom-coms usually. She is wasted in this movie. The movie starts with her best friend sleeping with her fiance. And I'm
Great.
supposed to
Great
root for them as a couple the whole movie.
Great fun.
It was terrible. If I'm going to tell you guys to avoid any rom-com, it's that one. But that's what I'm saying. There is a spectrum of rom-coms.
Yeah.
And so all of those circumstances, you can understand how they would market this like that. But it is not what this movie is. The first time I saw this, I was very surprised because I expected the cliche rom-com.
And I was going to ask you, what was when did you see this last?
Oh God, I think I've only actually seen this maybe once, maybe twice. I think I've seen it once though. And it was a few years ago. I might have just watched it by myself one time.
Well,
it was
clearly.
probably on Netflix or something. I don't honestly remember. It was quite a few years ago. I remember it not being what I expected it to be, and I definitely remember crying at the end, which I did again today.
Yeah.
Like, how do you sell that? Oh, by the way, it's this rom-com, but it's not really a rom-com. It's just a movie about life.
Yeah, it's actually about life. It's like, oh, okay.
And life is really happy and has high highs and low lows.
Yeah.
And bad things will happen to the people you love.
It doesn't have all of the cliches that you would normally expect from a movie like this. You just have to jump in.
Yeah, and to have those moments with your own father, like, it heightens the scenes every time he and his dad are on screen together, that they have this secret between them.
Yeah.
They have this special relationship where, like, he's being told by his dad that he's dying of cancer, and he stops for a minute and says, how many times have we had this conversation?
Right.
Because his dad has redone it because he didn't like how the conversation went.
Right. And also, Tim goes back after his dad dies to see him one more time right before he dies.
On the day of his funeral.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after he has passed, he can't deal with the funeral. So he goes and sees his dad. And his dad knows, oh, big day. Did you do it the way I wanted to? Did you play that song? Like, he's giving him instructions for the event that we're just about to do.
Sure.
It's wild just to know that you could be sharing that look. Like when he goes back with his sister and they show his dad knows.
Right.
You think he doesn't know?
Right.
Like, I bet he came back just now. It's this very special thing.
And they have that knowing
this
look.
bond
Yeah, yeah.
that nobody else in the movie has. And so when the movie ends the way it does, you're just like a weeping, blubbering mess. And it's a great movie. And I think that it's kind of one of those, because it was sold as something else. Not as many people have seen this movie as you would imagine.
It only has like a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I don't remember this movie being any kind of phenomenon. I think it kind of came and went.
No.
And I watched it a few years removed from this. Like, I didn't even see it right away.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of thing I like to watch.
And honestly, I did not know anything about this movie other than I remember seeing the poster and Rachel McAdams in the rain having a good time. That's all I really knew about the movie. It wasn't until we started to talk about what to do for this decade, and here we are.
Yeah, I think it's a great movie.
I agree.
I would love more people to experience this, because if you exist, if you have life, you can relate to something in this movie, be it tragedy or comedy or anxiety
or time travel
or time travel. Maybe you're a time traveler and you have to keep it a secret. I don't know.
Any Time Lords out there?
But speaking of time, we are out of it. So if you have seen About Time or any of the other movies we have so far covered in our Decade series, we would love to hear from you. You should email us, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. We have one such email from our superfan Stephanie about our 1993 movie, True Romance. She begins, "So I have only seen this once, but I would love to see it again. It is very good, but not my favorite Tarantino. There are some scenes that do not age well. Gary Oldman, even though he's an amazing actor, is not a great character 30 years later."
Yeah, I can see how he really enjoyed himself, and he could really, sink his teeth into the character and really get into it, but it is problematic.
It is so bizarre and out there, and it is fascinating to watch.
Yeah, you might have to just be an actor for you to think fondly back on that character.
Yes, it is a transformation which Gary Oldman has been known for.
Yes.
She continues, "Trent, I also love Hard Rain.
We've had this conversation before, yes.
Also, you should skip Magic Mike and just watch the second
We're
one.
going to watch Magic Mike. You're not going to stop me.
There's 3 of them now. And guess what? I haven't seen the third one.
That's
so
right.
It's going on this podcast.
It's going to happen eventually.
Eventually. LOL, this fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
If you haven't listened to our True Romance episode, we kind of wanted to subtitle it "This Fucking Guy" because there's a lot of that look going around the movie.
Yeah, but you can't do that on podcasts.
Yeah, maybe not. You can get the context by listening
Just
to the
listen
episode.
to the show.
She continues, "LOL, Trent is a dialogue whore."
That's right.
Yeah,
I'm proud of it.
You like words.
I like a good talkie.
Trent asked if I used the algorithm or if it uses me. It probably uses me. My daughter and I watched Rio and Rio 2 because Disney suggested it, and last night I watched Pride and Prejudice because of Netflix. Anywho, love you guys. Now, which Pride and Prejudice is this? Is this the one with Tom Hollander, who was featured in this movie? Mm-hmm. Or was this the 1995 miniseries starring Colin Firth?
Mm-hmm. How many more you got, Betsy?
There was like a 90s BBC one, I think,
Uh-huh.
or 2000s. There's one from the 40s. It's an oft-adapted piece of literature.
And you've seen them all.
I have not seen them all.
Close enough.
Not by any means. But I will tell you, the 1995 one is worth seeking out. It is long because it's a miniseries, but you get Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy, and it's great.
We have a copy if you want to borrow it.
But sometime I might sit you down and make you watch the Keira Knightley one.
Okay.
I would be curious. Not the miniseries. No, that's
Okay.
too much for you, Trent.
Okay.
I can't inflict that much BBC television on you.
I really do not know anything of Pride and Prejudice. I
Oh
know
my
the
God.
names. I know it's a love story, and I know that he has a thing with the hands.
He does, Trent. He has a thing with the hands. So use your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Those little digits at the end of your hands are called fingers, and you can use them to type emails or text messages or DMs, however those things work. Send us a message, neverseenitpod@gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, still Twitter. Send us a message on any of those platforms. We would love to hear your thoughts on this or any of the other movies we have covered to date. You can also support the show by clicking the link in the podcast description. But most of all, we would love if you walk those little fingers to where you rate the show 5 stars or write us a review. Both of those things help grow the show and get us in front of more people. And that is going to be it for 2013. That means, Trent, our next episodes, question mark?
What could it be?
What could it be?
What could they be?
We are going to be doing a movie event, we'll call it, for 2023.
The event of the year, some might say.
We'll find out, but you have to wait another few days until we get to that movie experience. In the meantime, this has been Never Seen, and my name is Betsy.
My name is Trent.
And we'll see you some other time.
Bye-bye.